Welcome back to Investing with Confidence. As always, I am your host, Joshua David, talking about the do's and the don'ts of the financial markets and different ways to make smarter investing decisions within your short-term income accounts and long-term wealth accounts. If you did miss tickets to that investing class locally here in Denver, Colorado, and Bloomington, Minnesota, call 888-682-6466 or text the word INVEST to the number 484848. When you get set up for this class, you're going to receive 2 tickets plus a quick start kit that will help you get started right away, but also include some free stuff, some free stock picks. And here in this section here, I wanted to talk a little bit about income strategies in the markets. And, you know, we talk about the stock market every week, and there's opportunities there, but there are also opportunities with other assets. And here today, I have Online Trading Academy. From there, Jordan Matthews. I want to talk about the futures market and why, you know, in your opinion, just real quick, kind of give a recap on what the futures market is, and then why somebody would want to utilize that for more of like an income style strategy.
Yeah, sure. So futures is an interesting market because you get access to a lot of things that the average person might not think about. For example, you can trade some of the equities like the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, things that we're aware of, but you also get access to commodities like crude oil, you get natural gas exposure, you can trade interest rates, which of course are big in the news right now, with the market the way it is. Mm-hmm. You have access to the metals, gold and silver, which a lot of people think, oh, just buy some physical gold and hold on to it. But here's a way to actually own and have exposure to gold without having to deal with physically holding it and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
You also get some advantages in the sense of leverage, where, you know, if you happen to be a person who wants to get involved with the markets and start to trade, you can do it with a much smaller account because of the nature of futures have a leveraging effect, where your money is able to control more of something without having to put many thousands of dollars into an investment.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the stock market. It actually ties up a lot of your capital.
It's very capital intensive.
Yeah, so let's just say, you know, we have a lot of listeners that are probably work during the day, and the stock market is only open 6.5 hours a day. So do you have opportunities other times, or what's your thoughts on trading at night even?
Sure. Well, the cool thing about futures is it's really a 23-hour-a-day market. Mm-hmm. Of course, there are better times to trade it and like that. But when you trade something like currency futures, where you get access to the Japanese yen, or you get access to the Swiss dollar, or even the euro, which, of course, everyone, you know, if you've traveled at all, you've probably dealt in euros at some point. Mm-hmm. Those markets are most actively traded not during U.S., the 6.5 hours that the stocks are open.
Yeah.
You can trade in the middle of the night. London is their market opens at 1 a.m. for us, or whatever it may be. There's opportunity, whether it's the London session, the Asian session, you have all sorts of things you can trade.
Yep. So with some of these commodities, I mean, commodities is a futures opportunity, like you were talking about gold, silver, and oil. I mean, that's been in the news. We kind of talked a little bit at the beginning of the show here about oil. What are your thoughts on oil? Why do you think it shot straight up and shot straight down? Is it the news that's driving that, or is it actually supply and demand?
Sure. Well, I mean, I think what it is when people are worried about being able to get access to something, there's a lack of supply in the market. When there's a lack of supply and there are people who need it, like you and I driving our cars around, there's still a need, but there's less supply. The market's going to rally for that reason.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the fear may subside, and that supply chain issue, whatever it may be, gets resolved. And that's what causes the market to do these whipsaw moves. But the news is almost lagging in some sense to what's actually truly happening in the market.
Yeah. No, I appreciate the insight, Jordan. Jordan Matthews from Online Trading Academy, and actually teaching a class here locally in Minneapolis.
It's true. It's going well.
Students are loving it here this week. So I appreciate you coming on the show here today and talking about the futures market. You know, if you want to learn more about the futures market, we have, you know, investing classes locally here in Denver, Colorado, but also Bloomington, Minnesota. And these are classes where we've taught thousands, just like you, our many strategies, especially the futures market, for income strategies in the markets. So call right now. Call 888-682-6466 for 2 tickets to learn more about these leveraged assets like the futures market. Or if you're a texter, you can text the word INVEST to the number 484848. When you do that, you're going to receive two tickets plus the Insiders kit that actually includes some free picks there. So don't forget to ask for that.
Don't miss it
when you call in for this investing class. And Al, I'm glad to have you back here. We had a good conversation here with Jordan Matthews about futures, and you have a lot of knowledge about the different markets as well. So I want you to continue discussing more income style strategies in the markets, because we have a lot of listeners that are looking for, that quote unquote is what they say, extra income, but you need a strategy that's designed to do that. So talk a little bit more about maybe some other assets that allow leverage and just more opportunities for income strategies using the financial markets.
Yeah, first of all, let me toot Jordan's horn here a bit. Here, Jordan is one of many instructors that we have. He trades futures on a regular basis. People love him. That's the kind of quality that you have access to here. Every class we have, every time someone hears that Jordan's going to be here, his classes fill up immediately.
Yeah, especially those investing classes. He teaches investing classes too, and it's like coming in brand new to the markets, learning from somebody that's been in the markets for several years is a real big perk on getting started.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys like Jordan have a way of making this easy to understand. And a lot of people don't know anything about the futures market or the options or the foreign exchange market. And in our instructors, we're fortunate enough to have people that know how to kind of cover every level. We have some people that are just totally neophytes and some people that have traded before. And anyways, he does a great job. We're happy. We're ecstatic to have him here. In the futures market, by the way, he mentioned many different things that are part of that market. You can trade in the stock markets, our markets and foreign markets. You can trade the commodities. He mentioned currencies, oil, gold, silver, all of those things. And they trade 24 hours a day. Has great leverage, so your dollars are really working hard for you. But also, you have great diversification within that market. That's a huge advantage, because if you go to a financial advisor and ask that advisor how you are going to be protected, what they'll say is, we're putting together a portfolio and it is well diversified. So you may have access to the financial market, the healthcare market, the technology market, consumer staples, consumer discretionary. Yeah, you're diversified, but you're diversified within one asset family, one asset category, and that's stock.
Yep.
Everything, it's like a bathtub. You pull a plug in a bathtub, everything gets sucked down.
Yeah, that's not diversified.
That's not diversified. You
Makes you feel good.
Spread out within one asset. But being diversified means you have some things that will benefit when something else is not benefiting. Or maybe there are oil, for example. Let's talk about what the oil market is telling us. The futures market told us beforehand that oil was going to come down, because if you look at oil, the price of oil, and you compare that to the price of oil companies, the oil companies, their price increase is only about 1/3 of the move in oil. Mm-hmm. That's an indication or a sign that oil is going to come back down. So there are things that you can learn in these markets where you can use one asset to actually benefit with a different asset. So, and futures is only one of those things. Futures is something that trades very short term. A lot of futures traders are out of a trade the same day. You kind of choose,
or multiple days. You dictate
or multiple
that.
days, but you kind of choose how you want to trade it, and everybody's a little different. That's part of the key, I think, of how we have helped our students become successful. We look at each person as an individual and help them to develop a strategy and an education path, a financial path that is beneficial to them.
Yeah. So real quick, Al, you got to talk about my favorite market out there. My favorite market, the Forex market.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about lean hogs.
Well, so I didn't want to go down that path. Lean hogs is a futures contract, but yes, I do love me some lean hogs. But I do love me some Forex as well. It's the currency market. Explain what that is, because you mentioned that you can trade currencies in the futures market.
Yes.
What's the difference there?
Yeah, in the futures market, you're doing an individual currency. In the Forex market, that's short for the foreign exchange market, you're looking at pairs. So you're looking at the difference in exchange rates between two different currencies, looking at one that looks like it's going to go up in value, another that's going to go down in value. But it trades as one it's one trade.
Okay, so it's basically traded just like a stock would be. It's just if you think it's going to go up, you buy. If you think it's going to go down, you sell, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And it allows you to take place in what's happening globally.
Yeah.
Everybody that has ever traveled out of the country has participated in the Forex market.
Explain that.
Well, if you go to Mexico, for example, and you want to exchange your dollars for pesos,
Yep.
that's a foreign exchange. Actually, that's an exchange or a
So basically, you got the exchange rate of one other currency.
right. You're participating in that foreign exchange market, and then when you come back, you're going to exchange those pesos back for U.S. dollars. So, and then that market really has a big impact on other markets too. What's happening globally with the currencies can have a big impact on products that companies either import or export.
Yeah.
And that market's open 24 hours a day. That's a fantastic opportunity for people that work during the stock market hours.
Yeah.
And then also it has great leverage. It's every dollar that you are putting into a margin account can control maybe $50 worth of an investment. The great thing about that, whether you're trading the futures market, the foreign exchange market, or the options market, is they all have that leverage.
Yeah.
So it allows people with a smaller account or people that only want to take a small portion of a portfolio to participate in something that is a multiple of what they have in that account.
Yeah. For example, there was an article I read a while back. I believe it was maybe Yahoo Finance or some different article, and it said that most people, I think it was 70% of people that are not in the market think it's because they don't have enough money.
Right.
And that's true with stocks. It takes a lot of capital to trade stocks. Well, how about have the opportunity to use less, as Al is talking about with the futures market and the Forex market, and to control a much larger asset. For example, in this example, if an investor has $2,000 in the Forex market, they can control up to $100,000 in the Forex market because it's leveraged at 50 to 1. Basically, for every dollar, so an investor can control 50. So there's just opportunities that most people have never heard about. How do you, I know we're getting close to the end of the section here. How do you help people be more comfortable doing not new things, just a little bit different?
Yeah. Well, it's knowledge. It's learning what that asset is, learning about it, learning what's specific to it, and then learning how to trade it, learning when to trade it, how to trade it, why you trade it. But I think a lot of people might say, hey, I know somebody who traded futures and they lost a bunch of money. You know what? That is true if you don't know how to approach it properly. The number one thing that we teach before you enter a trade is locking in your risk management strategy. Yeah. So you never want to have a full amount of an investment at risk. Our core strategy and the platform that we give our students to use called Click, it really makes you choose what your risk level is, and you maybe you're only willing to risk $50 or $100.
Yeah.
If you try to exceed that with any kind of an investment, Click actually comes up with an alert. It says, "Hey, don't do this. You're exceeding your risk level."
Yeah, I'm glad you gave that little example. I was kind of thinking about that, and I actually broke my leg a long time ago skiing, and just because I broke my leg doesn't mean that you didn't go ski. It was just maybe I didn't know how to do it properly.
Right.
And if you know how to ski properly, maybe you're not going to break your leg. That's the totally different thing is how do you do it the right way? But you never know unless you get into the market.
Right.
But you have to learn from experienced people. And that's why we have investing classes. Investing classes to learn these different techniques and strategies, especially for investors, or I guess we'll call it people that are looking for income strategies in the financial markets, because that's what it's all about. Not just having one job, which is just over broke. It's hopefully have multiple sources. That's what the elite have. They don't have one job. They have multiple sources of cash flow. If you have that opportunity, learn those techniques and strategies that they are using. So these strategies, we talk about these strategies in these investing classes locally here in Bloomington, Minnesota, and also Denver, Colorado. And these are classes where we've taught thousands. Just like you, are many strategies which are designed to teach you to make better investing decisions. So right now, I'm going to have you call in right now, so get your phone ready. When you call right now for 2 tickets for this investing class, I'm going to give away an insider's kit. No, actually, it's going to be a financial quick start kit.
Yeah, let's do that one.
That actually includes some free stock picks. So if you do like the stock market, you want to have different stock picks, that's also included. Call right now. Call 888-682-6466. That's 888-682-6466 for 2 tickets and the quick start kit. Al, coming up next, We have retirement accounts that have been dropping for a lot of people right now. That doesn't have to happen. There are strategies to protect 401ks and IRAs. I want to talk about that coming up next. Text the word invest to the number 484848. This is Josh and Al, Investing with Confidence. We'll be right back.